Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Roger Williams, as already stated, and I've been registered blind since 1992 after undergoing a major operation to remove a brain tumour. And I consider myself to be very fortunate that I was introduced to St Dunstan's quite soon after coming out of hospital after my operation. At first, I thought my life was over and I was going through the why me stage. And I even considered seriously suicide. As having been such an active chap till then, having served 10 years in the forces, part of that time spent as a paratrooper. My job was as a number one of a gun in charge of a 6-man crew. I have seen service in Malaya, Borneo and the Middle East. But if I tell you where, as they say, I would have to kill you. On arriving at the Middle East, I was introduced to the servicemen who I now call the Del Boys. As we were getting off the plane, there was one of the chaps who was waiting to get on the plane to go back home. And he was standing there saying, "Do you want to buy a map of the area?" And of course, he said, "They're only $1 a piece." He says, "You give me your money now and I'll bring them round later." A few of the guys give him his dollar. We later found out the map of the area of the Middle East is a sheet of sandpaper. As we were deplaning when I went to Malaya, there's another Del boy, bottom of the stairs, "Do you want to buy any of these anti-thirst tablets?" A couple of the guys said, "Think about it, how much?" "Only $1. And you get, so many like." I said, "Oh, that's fine." On inquiring how these anti-thirst tablets worked, the chap said, "You take 2 of these with a glass of water and you're instantly rehydrated, so you've got to be careful." But there's one in every regiment. Wherever you go, you'll find a Del boy. I don't regret one day of my service. The whole 10 years, sorry. Some days were better than others, but I can't really honestly say there were any bad days. Even the 10 days I done in Nick. I left the army to nurse my wife, who was suffering with cancer. Then after her death, I became involved in motor racing and eventually worked my way up to being a technician in Formula One. Once again, travelling all over the world from Britain to Australia and most places in between, where I stayed until being forced into retirement when I went blind. I am often asked who was the greatest racing driver of all time. My answer is that Michael Schumacher, who you may have heard of, is the most successful racing driver of all time. He holds more records than anybody else and more championships than anybody else. But my driver of all time was Ayrton Senna. And I believe that if Ayrton Senna hadn't died in the way he did, that Michael Schumacher wouldn't have got all these records, because I believe Senna was the better driver, more skilled, more talented. But that's my opinion. You'll ask 100 other people, you get another 100 different opinions. So, as I say, that's my own. And I used to do shows, take the race cars round, and if I had £1 for every time somebody said, "How fast does it go, mister?" I'd be a rich man. I suppose the pinnacle of my career was working for the team that year won the Drivers' Championship and the Construction Championship for the 12 months. And I don't think you can do any better than that. So I'm really proud of that achievement. After going blind, I was then asked by St Dunstan's to go for an interview at their headquarters in London. And on completion, I was accepted as a St Dunstaner and invited to go to Ovingdean, near Brighton, for a week's assessment, and then later, when my needs were known, for training. I arrived at Ovingdean feeling very apprehensive, not knowing what to expect from St Dunstan's or from myself. On arrival, I was made very welcome and put at my ease very quickly. May I say, what an eye-opener that first day was, if you'll pardon the pun. But after being shown my room and then some orientation of the building, I found myself in the lounge where there were veterans from both world wars who were not only blind but had other serious disabilities as well. I felt ashamed of myself, for all these guys were just getting on with their lives. It was the kick in the pants, and I've cleaned that up because there's ladies in the room, okay, that I needed, saying to myself, well, if these guys can do it with their serious illnesses, I'm sure I can. So with the help of training, support and backup that St. Dunstan's provided, I now lead an almost normal life. St. Dunstan's train you at their own pace, as we all have different learning curves, and usually on a one-to-one basis to become independent in all aspects of daily life. How to pour a cup of tea without scalding your hand, or even missing the cup and making a mess. They also show you how to cut, chop, dice and peel food to prepare it for cooking without either slicing your hand or nipping a finger or two. And where possible, priority is given to a skill to try and get you back into the labour market, plus the sense of independence and self-confidence that comes with every task that you achieve. What do I owe St. Dunstan's? In short, my life. For without them, I don't think that I would have got this far. I have great admiration for all who work for the organisation, as they always seem to be prepared to go that extra mile for you. And that's from the top to the cooks, the cleaners and anybody in between. They're not there just for the money. I have learnt a lot from St. Dunstan's, mainly that there is life after blindness. Thanks to St. Dunstan's, I now lead an almost full and independent life. I live on my own, do my own cooking, washing and ironing, and are able to keep my home clean and tidy. With the training I have received from St. Dunstan's in IT, and with the help of my computer, I am now able to read my private correspondence and keep it private. No asking a neighbour to read my love letters or my bank statement. What do I miss most about going blind? My driving licence. I passed my test when I was 17 and I'd driven every day until I went blind. What have I gained most? The camaraderie that St. Dunstan's offers. There is no rank amongst St. Dunstan's. We are all equal. And when at Ovingdean, there is always somebody to chat to. And it's never difficult to start a conversation with a total stranger. After introducing yourself, you can always say, who did you serve with? Or how did you lose your sight? Conversations getting going and you'll talk for hours. Everybody has a tale to tell, and so many individuals, this means so many stories. One man I was talking to said his claim to fame was he was the St. Dunstaner who was blinded closest to Ovingdean. And I said, where was that then? Calais, thinking that was the nearest place to England. No, he said, I was defusing a bomb on the Brighton Pier and it went off. And that sort of camaraderie, you just don't find anywhere else, only amongst soldiers, basically. I call it soldier humour. But the camaraderie is so binding that I don't think of St. Dunstan's as an organisation. I think of it as an extended family. What I like about St. Dunstan's, more than the training and the occasional financial help that is given so generously and very, very much appreciated, is a knowing that you are not the only one to have gone blind and that you are not alone. Help is only a phone call away. As we all know, St. Dunstan's is a charity run solely on donations. But we receive no government help or lottery money. So I'd like to say on behalf of myself and my fellow St. Dunstaners, a big thank you to you all for the support and time you have given to St. Dunstan's in the past. and I hope you will continue to do so in the future. I thank you for taking the time to listen to my story today. My name is Roger Williams, and I am proud to be called a St Dunstaner. Thank you. Right. Okay. Right. Okay, yeah.